Hello and welcome to the Weekend Edition, Maze. I'm Dr. Kingori. We have yet another classic show lined up for you. Here leo ni very special to me. For over 2 years, I have been trying to get a judicial officer on the show, either a judge or a magistrate. Maze, finally. Now, the challenge has always been how strict the rules are for them. Now, for this episode, however, we managed to get the former principal magistrate wa Kiambu, Honorable Bryan Khaemba, is in the house. We also have our reporter Kiambu on standby with a special guesswork report. We'll be talking to Honorable Bryan Khaemba in a bit. But first, the wave of high school unrest across the country took a fresh twist this week after teachers at King David Kamama Boys Secondary School who had gone looking for a matchbox in a student's pocket ended up finding something else along the lines of fire.
A 17-year-old student at King David Kamama High School in Embu was found in possession of a bullet while in school.
Bawabu moja akitembea ndani ya shule alipata kuona moshi katika dormitory. Akaenda kuona nini inaendelea. Kufika hapa akaona mwanafunzi mmoja akikimbia. Wote wakaitwa kwa parading ground aweze kuidentify huyo mtoto. Katika hii harakati ya wanafunzi kufanyiwa search nani anaweza kwenda kibiriti ama kitu kingine, mmoja wao akapatikana na risasi kwa mfuko.
Meona the county commander hapo anakupigia Kiswahili sanifu, bawabu mmoja. Now, before we get into the line of fire, hii shule tukiwa Nguvio Boys ilikuwa inaitwa Kamadhe. Sasa naona imekula filter, inaitwa King David. Anyway, back to the school motto. I think this story made it to the news because for the past 2 elections, Kenyans have believed that ni baba tu anakuanga na risasi moja.
Risasi imebaki ngapi? Moja. Na itanaza nani? Itanaza.
Now come to think of it, this story opens up a new angle juu hiyo story ya baba na risasi yake moja. Could it be that hajawahi tumia hiyo risasi yake sababu anaanga bunduki? Or maybe that's why he had to team up with the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and overall president of all counties. Baba na ile risasi moja yake, sasa akona UK-47. Now on the case of the Kamama student, in his defense, the young man said to police officers that it's their history teacher who asked them to prepare their notes in bullet form. In other news, former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko showed up in court with medical personnel. Alienda hapo na daktari pale, nurse, nini na my equipment because he was not feeling well. That was literally the definition of Sonko rescue team. And what is that governor alikuwa na shida ya tumbo. Tumbo ilikuwa inampeleka teke sana. We wish him a quick recovery. And an observation coming from this is that this closely following the car grants recently gifted to MCAs by the president in a bid to win their hearts and support for BBI, it's evident that whichever side of the government you are on, serikali kikuamulia, utaendesha. Now also, musician Rose Muhando has been on the spot this week after she announced that the charges to attend her album launch will be 50,000 Kenyan shillings a ticket. And the reactions by Kenyans from the fee, ama vile wa Kenya wali react kusikia 50,000, it's symbolic to how narrow the road to heaven is. Imagine ukiwa na 300, unaingia kwa concert ya Gengeton kutoka saa 8 mpaka past curfew. Ukiwa na 1,000, hizo ni show za 6 months, na hapo mmelipa mpaka Willis. Iwabebe mpaka mchoke.
Wabebe, skilo, wabebe wasikie.
Kuingia concert wanacheza hiyo kitu. Yo, wabebe, ni 300 yako moto. Alafu sasa kuna hii. Sasa it's up to ni wewe sasa uchague ni utamu gani unataka kusikia ni
wabebe wasikie.
Ama ni utamu wa Yesu. Na kuna ni bebe na wabebe. So ni wewe uchague. The price difference ni 50,000 na 300. The road to hell is very wide. Now imagine going to hell just because you could not afford to go to heaven. Poverty is evil. That said, let's turn to our reporter Kiambu for other stories making the news.
Guesswork has taken note of a very worrying trend that would indicate that in almost every problem we face, as Kenyans, we choose violence. To start in an ascending order, after close to 1 year out of school, the education sector is literally under fire sababu wanafunzi wa secondary wamerudi shule na mioto. it is still unclear if the violence witnessed in secondary schools is what gets carried forward to university. Case in point, the incident at the Karatina University 2 months ago when students went on strike protesting a range of issues, among them insecurity. To give an impression of the level of insecurity the students were striking about, when police officers went to see what was happening at the institution, the police ended up running for their lives. Guest work has not independently verified the claims that police walitoka nyau. The velocity is record-breaking. Again, it is unclear whether the same violence observed in campus is the same that gets carried forward beyond campus. Case in point, the recent incident in Kisii where Honorable Siba Arati and Honorable Silvana Sosoro got into it. Both leaders have been condemned for the incident with different versions of what happened flying around. Mara Osoro alimpiga Arati kofi and the vice versa. But what can be seen is Honorable Siba Arati grabbing Honorable Osoro by the tie, a skill whose aim is to deprive your opponent of oxygen using their choice of wardrobe, ama ukipenda taekwondo ya kienyeji. This move is what drew criticism because the Kenya Union of Hitters post, Mheshimiwa alitoa wapi confidence ya kunyonga kwa matanga. Guesswork has also observed that most Kenyans, including public figures in Kenya, are sort of self-defense professionals in preparation for chaos because this is a country of just in case. We have Detective Jen Mogo, huyu ambaye juzi aliagukia interview ya BBC, and that's just to mention a few. Of all the examples we could give, Professor P.O. Lumumba has been observed to practice the most peaceful form of violence, call it harvesting the atmosphere. This concept of Kenyans' affinity to violence is still under investigations, and we will come back to you when we find the core. I promise. Tukiipata, tutawaambia. Pinky promise.
Now, the reason I have always been interested to get a magistrate on the show is because I know that we have almost the same questions. Now, we have managed to get the former Kiambu County Principal Magistrate, Honorable Bryan Khaemba, on the show, and I believe that the questions you are asking yourself are the same ones I'm going to ask him. Kwanza, one of his most controversial rulings was that driving while drunk is not a crime. That question and many more are coming on the second part of this show, so see you guys in a bit. Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. I'm Dr. Kingori. Manzi show ya leo is on another level. 2 years, over 2 years, trying to get a judicial officer on the show. Someone who can speak as a judge, someone who can speak as a magistrate. And guess what? We finally managed to get the former principal magistrate wa Kiambu County, Bryan Khaemba, in the house. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Daktari.
Karibu sana. My experience na judge goes way back in primary school, wakitufunza as sober as a judge. That's the reputation judges have.
Yes.
Alafu nakumbuka not very long ago, you had a ruling which somehow was misinterpreted in the circles. Yes. I understand. Ati drunk driving is not a crime as long as the guy mwenye ameonja kitu ako in control of the vehicle. Tulikosea wapi?
Yeah, it is true. I made that ruling,
yes.
And fortunately, it was upheld by the High Court. That
wow.
my interpretation and application of the law was within. I mean, was valid.
Yes.
Because under that provision of the Act, that Traffic Act, it is the offence is being drunk to the point that you are incapable of driving a motor vehicle. Not that you are too drunk. No, you are too drunk to the extent that you are incapable of driving or operating a motor vehicle. So it is not an issue of how much you have consumed. It is a question of, are you able to drive? Are you able to operate or not? So in that particular case, I was in Kiambu. This guy was arrested and brought before me.
Yes.
So the police officer came and gave evidence, and they were saying that this man, we were manning a roadblock. He came and we administered some alcohol on him. And if in the process of administering the alcohol law to test his level of alcohol in the body, he became unruly. He wrestled the base commander, Chief Inspector of Police, to the ground. The Chief Inspector of Police had to seek reinforcement from another officer who was there. But still, the two of them could not manage to arrest this person. Yes. They called a nearby AP officer who was manning a Family Bank ATM. Those the three of them now combined is when they be able to arrest this person.
Yes.
And therefore my question is, if this person is able to resist arrest and overpower two of you, is a civilian, is not trained, then are you trying to tell me that this person is incapable of driving a motor vehicle? If the question, the answer is no. He might have been drunk, yes, I can see the alcohol report, but he was in a position to drive a motor vehicle.
Because if he can beat up three of you,
yes,
he's very well in good shape.
Exactly. And of course they were dissatisfied, and the DPP went to the High Court, and the judge, the High Court said that no, that's correct. If there's a problem, then go and amend the law. But this is actually the law.
Then, but I think
the problem is now the people who are celebrating were those who are in that. Some were even telling me that they were working with my judgment. They scanned and they were working with the judgment. When the police were arresting them because of being drunk, they could just show them the ruling from
it is not how much I have drunk.
Yes, I'm able to control the machine. Yes.
I think, Basi, instead of the alcohol law, we should have a unit of police officers that if you can fight this number of police officers, then
you are given a medal.
Yeah. Or you are off the hook.
No. We don't want to encourage people to fight police officers.
Yes.
But sometimes when you're interpreting the law, it's good to stick to the letter and the terms of the letter and the terms of the law. Okay.
A friend of mine shared a story with us about an incident that happened in Siaya. Someone was speared to death in a local center, and people saw.
Yes.
But then when he was taken to court, he was released because no one was willing to come and testify against him.
Yes.
I believe that was being released on a technicality, right?
No.
No, that's lack of...
There's no evidence. There's no technicality.
There's no evidence.
Yes.
So if as a judge...
People are supposed to give evidence, not turned up.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So if as a judge you are part of the people who saw that happening, still you will release that guy.
Yeah, we know we are in an adversarial system. Even if I'm a judge and I've seen an offense being committed, and the person is brought before me, I want people to come and give evidence. In fact, I should not even hear that case. I need to recuse myself because of conflict, because I saw. But generally, the fact that the offense was committed and I saw does not mean that, okay, this person just brought to court and say, okay, oh, see, I even saw you. Okay, then they just go to committee. There's no need of calling more evidence. I saw you committed this. I will still sit on my seat, ask the DPP, the prosecutor, bring evidence. Who saw? Okay, this person saw. Okay, what happened? Did he die? What? As if I'm not there. That's the system of law that we are in.
So you have to sit there and pretend that you know nothing about what is going on. But so if you saw, and the evidence is not strong enough to convict him, then you will still release him despite you seeing them.
Yes, and you know, those are what the principles of what we call the Bangalore principles of judicial independence, which one of the principles that we must be impartial, isn't it? So if you are not impartial, then it means that you are going into the arena of the case and say that I am part of the people who saw this offense be committed. That ought not be the case. I want to say that actually the best thing to do is that you need to step aside from that case, recuse yourself and say, I can actually be a witness in this matter. So this should not be brought to me. Or the prosecution will not bring that matter before you are caught, if they are aware that you saw it. Because your mind is already biased.
In the years of your practice, have you had scary moments in court? Like people you look at and wonder how the society survives with them around?
Yeah, you know, there's those moments, some are scary, others are not that scary. It also depends on where the station has been working with.
Yes.
The only moment I found myself, and I'm like, what's happening? There was a gentleman who was brought to court, and I saw on the charge sheet, it's called Jesus. So I was like, So I became curious. Then I called this name out when I saw I said, Jesus. So the man stood up and said, yes, the Son of God himself. So I quickly knew this one is a Mathare case. So
That was his name.
You see, he was arrested and was asked to produce his ID.
Aye.
He didn't have the ID, so he told the police, "What's your name?" "I'm Jesus." So the police had got nothing else to write because the judge it must have some name,
Yes.
isn't it? So it must have. That's why we have got also known as AKA and what have you. But they must have some name. We don't take unknown people
Yes.
to court. So the guy told me, "Okay, but
I'm Jesus.
yes."
So did you release Jesus?
I ordered Jesus to be taken to Mathare to undergo a psychiatric assessment and find out actually where's the problem.
And when it comes to the
This
court,
guy had actually tried, he had attempted to jump over the fence of State House. He was arrested by those elite.
but he was Jesus. You could have allowed him.
The police didn't know. They wrote that he was a robber. But you see, even the Bible says that Jesus will come as a thief, isn't it?
The police did not know Jesus.
You know?
And when it comes to the judiciary, people have some of the most weird cases
Yes.
that they bring before a judge. Come on, that should be one of the most bizarre cases.
Yes.
Are there cases that you see and wonder why they are before a court, but you still have to go through and listen to them?
Yeah, they are. You know, Kenyans have become so litigious that I think the new constitution has opened up that space
Yes.
for litigation.
Yes.
So a small offense, something which can be resolved, ends up on the doorstep of the court.
Yes.
For me, this is what sometimes I could pay people just to get them to negotiate. Because I will ask, someone has brought a case of theft of farm produce.
Yes.
And what he did, there are 5 avocados.
5 avocados.
Yes.
They brought someone to court for
Yes.
avocado.
Yes, for an offense of stealing farm produce. So I asked the complainant, how much is this? He said it's 150 shillings.
Yes.
Yeah, because now we have got many cases there.
Yes.
This is a case which you can resolve. If the complainant pays you 150,000, the accused person, will you withdraw that case?
Yes.
He says, yes, I have no problem if he pays me that much.
Yes.
Okay? Complainant, accused person, do you have 150 shillings? Say, I don't have. I want to pay for it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Then I pay and we drop the case and just like that.
And it's done.
Is that, yeah, but because now we have got cases where people have lost millions for the bank, theft, robbery, the process of robbery, someone died, or what have you. Are we going to an avocado turn up? And he has got 5 witnesses to come and testify. By the time they testify,
each avocado has its own witness.
Yes. By the time you are done with the case, avocados will have got bad, isn't it? It will be spoiled.
Yes, yes.
So what are we doing? And that's why we've been encouraging people to embrace the alternative dispute resolution.
Okay.
So mambo ingine, go to the elders, village elders, go to the church leaders.
Okay.
They bring people together and help so that we only the most serious cases ends up in court.
Okay. My curiosity that actually inspired my walk, my journey to look for a judicial officer on the show.
Yes.
I was interested in a line, witness interference.
Yes.
And witness interference was a case where a witness had been killed. So the case cannot proceed because of witness interference. The same goes to very many cases that are there. But also I understand that witness interference is probably bribing a witness or letting them or allow, talking to someone nicely that they withdraw a case. That's why they have institutions of witness protection, I believe.
Yes.
But then for me, when it comes to the language of the court,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I don't feel like it's heavy enough.
Yes.
Because putting witness interference, killing someone under that umbrella, and then bribing someone under that umbrella. So you mentioned that there is an explanation behind that.
Yes.
But are there cases where it's just witness interference and then the case just disappears without the weight of the term witness interference being delved into?
You know, when the court is imposing terms of bond,
Yes.
it explains to the accused person or accused persons what ought not to do under witness interference. Because witness interference is a very serious issue that if it is proven, even if you are out on bond, the bond can be cancelled by the court and remain in custody until the case is completed.
Yes.
So the court always gives the conditions on bond. And under witness interference, they will tell you, don't conduct any of the witnesses, either directly or indirectly. Don't send someone to go and talk to them. Don't call them. Don't SMS them. Okay? The court cannot say, don't kill them. Because you see now that one's a separate offense. If you want to go and kill someone, it is murder. Now it is not about witness interference anymore.
Yes.
You will be arrested and charged with a different offense away from now this particular one.
Yes.
Okay? So to me, that there's nothing wrong because the court has, having explained to you, don't do a number of things. Then you go to the worst and kill the witnesses so that the case is killed.
Okay.
Yeah, now that one becomes a separate matter.
When releasing judgment,
Yes.
the chance that the accused gets,
Yes.
wejitete, will that count in the final judgment? It's like you came with the written judgment, but based on what they say, for example, the guy who talked about being an orphan,
Yes.
there's an allowance to which they can move you to the extent that they were to get 20 years, but you're like, let me give you 5.
So you delete.
Yes.
No. You see, the judgment ends at conviction. When you come to court, the judgment is written, typed, printed. It ends to the point, at the point of, I have now looked at everything, I have looked at this, I have analyzed this, I have looked at your defense and your evidence and your witnesses, and I am convinced that you are guilty as charged, and therefore convict you. That's
So
the
this
end.
one comes
That
before.
will be the end of the typed judgment. Okay?
Na ile mnaulizana
Now,
mtu?
that's conviction. If there's conviction, then there's sentence. Now, having convicted
yes.
you, okay?
Yes.
Now, I offer you a chance to mitigate.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Now, that's when you see now, the judge is right, and writing. Now, just after the conviction, in addition to now the typed judgment.
Yes.
Then after the mitigation, you ask the prosecutor if the prosecutor has got a previous record
Yes.
of criminal liability or criminal convictions on the accused person, you also record. Then now you give sentence. So that will be the notes after. The proceedings after the conviction.
Yes,
now
yes,
that's
yes.
done now in the open court.
Yeah.
Now you finalize.
So
Then when now you can go and rewrite and retype. Now
so
to
whatever
bring-
someone says when they are given a chance to defend themselves, the final, like
Yes.
if you have you anything else to say,
Yes.
could count. It could help in the final.
Yes, in most cases they do. Because in the mitigation,
Yes.
someone may say that I am pregnant in the mitigation.
Yes.
And the law is you cannot jail a woman who is pregnant. You cannot sentence that person to death. You understand? So now you revert to life imprisonment. And all this time, you didn't know that the person was pregnant, right? So mitigation offers a chance for the court to appreciate the
Yani-
status of the accused person.
Yani, time constraints
Yes, no
has
problem.
only allowed me to ask half. I don't even think half of what I'd love to know. I don't even think I wanted to discuss punishment, not punishment, jail conditions, the feeling of releasing someone, the power of a judge. Yani, I have so much that I don't even think I can go through now because I'm so tempted to continue.
No
So
problem.
if you can allow,
Yes.
right on set, can you allow us to invite you again for another part of this?
No problem. We can
Thank
have
you,
for the
sir.
second and a third and a fourth part.
Manze, thank you.
No problem.
Honorable Bryan Khaemba.
Yes.
He also practices, he's now back to practice as a lawyer.
Yes.
So you are back to the other side of the bench. Mheshimiwa Judge, I am begging. You have to beg in court.
Yes.
Right? Lawyers are beggars. So you are...
No, but I practiced before, so I'm
You
back to
practiced
my
before.
first love.
Ah.
Yes. That's where the journey began.
I think we can all agree that we need to extend this to another episode. We are actually very, very happy to invite you again. Your invitation is open. We'll check with your schedule to see how soon we can have you back. But otherwise, asante sana for honoring our invite.
Thank you.
Salamu ya
Thank you,
COVID.
Doctor. Shukran.
Asante sana. That's it for the weekend edition. See you next week. My name is Dr. Kingori.